Hi everyone, welcome to Scott on the Rocks, where we make signature cocktails, themed cocktails, and classy cocktails all year long for your party needs. Tonight we're doing one for Halloween theme. This is a super fun drink. You're gonna get a real kick out of it. It features a black vodka, Blavod, which is a brand that essentially what they do is they take vodka and they infuse it with heartwood from a tree, I think that's like native to Australia or South Africa, which changes the color to be black without affecting the flavor. Then we're gonna add in some pumpkin vodka for Halloween themed. And then we're gonna add in a few other ingredients. I call this one the Blackened Pumpkin Martini. So like any martini, we're gonna start by chilling our glass. So you take a martini glass, you'll see this in most bars if you're going to a classy cocktail bar. They're gonna take the martini glass, and then they're gonna add in either some water or some club soda. I like to use club soda just to be bougie, you know? So we're gonna put some club soda in there, and all this is doing is chilling our glass so that when you get this drink, it is ice cold. Then what we're gonna do, we'll take our shaker, we're gonna add in, we're gonna make some simple syrup. The simple syrup is just equal parts sugar and water. You can make this ahead of time and you know, boil the water with sugar in it. I just do it in the glass. Take a sugar cube, and then I take our jigger here, and I usually put in about half an ounce. You don't want a ton of water. You just want enough to really break up that sugar. So, take your muddler, got your sugar and your water, go ahead and pound that up. You want it to be mostly dissolved with a few grains in there. And the reason why is that as you sip on this, that sugar is gonna sit to the bottom of the glass. So your last sip is gonna be sweeter than your first sip, and that's gonna add a real nice taste to your drink. As you're going, it's gonna get sweeter and sweeter. So you don't want it all the way diluted, but mostly diluted with a few grains in there. So I see a few grains left. Go ahead and leave that in there. All right, here's what we're doing. We're taking our Blavod. Funny story about this. I went to our local alcohol shop, and I feel real bad about this, so just bear with me. But I was like, do you have any black vodka? And the guy looked at me kind of dumbfounded. He's like, that's not a thing. I was like, I saw this video on Facebook where a guy had black vodka, and so he did some searching on his computer, and he found that they didn't have any, but there's one store in town that had it. And he said they're down on Mercer, we're here in Seattle on Mercer Street. Go down there, I bet they have one. And then he said, in fact, I think I'm gonna go buy one after they closed down the store that night. I feel real bad because I got the last bottle. So this is the last bottle in Seattle. I'm sure they got more because this was last week when I bought it. But at the time, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Please don't refuse service to me next time I go to your alcohol store. I didn't mean to get the last bottle, but I needed it for this video. So we got black vodka. We're gonna put in 1.5 ounces here. So the top of my jigger here is 0.75 ounces. We got 0.75, and then we got another 0.75. That brings us to 1.5 ounces, which is also, if you use a shot glass, that's 1.5 ounces. Then we're gonna add to that our pumpkin vodka. I use veal vodka. It's a really solid brand for a really affordable price. So you could use something fancier, but these are usually like $10 or $12. So 1.5 ounces of black vodka. Then we're gonna add 1 ounce of veal vodka. This is pumpkin flavored, right up to the 1 ounce line. Great. Here's where it gets fun. We're gonna add in some pumpkin pie flavoring. You can get this at any grocery store. You don't wanna use a ton of it because it's very heavy in sugar. It's really sweet. You can add it to your coffee drinks, but here at Scott on the Rocks, we add it to our alcohol drinks because we don't drink coffee, we drink alcohol. All right, so we're just gonna put in 1/2 ounce, not a ton. You don't want a ton of this, it's very sweet. All right, I learned recently, this is one of those lessons that you learn when you realize that you've been doing it wrong your entire life. Martinis are actually not supposed to be shaken. You can always ask, can you shake a martini? But the reason why they're not supposed to be shaken is because when you shake a martini, you're diluting it. And you don't want to dilute it. I mean, if you've got like a lot of citrus in there, or if you're making an egg white drink, then you definitely want to shake it because that adds to the texture of the drink. But for a martini, you don't want to shake it. You just want to stir this up. You're not trying to melt the ice at all. You want to keep those core ingredients intact. You're gonna do just about 20 or so rotations. And here we go. Now this is gonna get so much cooler in the next 30 seconds. All right, so let's take our ice. You can dump that out. It served its purpose. Thank you, ice. And then we're just gonna strain this right into our glass. Look at that. Black vodka gives it that nice touch. Now we're not done. What makes this drink awesome is that then you're gonna take a little bit of luster dust. Luster dust is edible food. I think it's like edible food dust. You can put it on like cookies and cakes and coffee, but it gives it a really interesting effect. So I'm just gonna put a few, you don't want a ton of it, you just want enough to really like show the effect. So I probably put in maybe like a teaspoon or so of that. And here's what you do. I'm gonna move this up here so you can see it. Give it a nice twirl. And you should be able to start seeing swirls all throughout there. Again, this is Halloween themed. So this is kind of like magical black vodka. And then to garnish it, you could garnish it with something else pumpkin-y. I'm gonna use a little caramel candy. I think that gives it the nice Halloween vibe to it. And there you go. That is the Blackened Pumpkin Martini with luster dust. All of this together, ingredients-wise, you could probably buy all of this for $25 or so, and you can use this for the entire night making your Halloween-themed cocktails. All right, follow us on Instagram. Check us out at scottontherocks.com. We're gonna be doing this all year long.